Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Krasnik and I am involved in design. I'm also interested in the topic of generative AI, and today I would like to talk with you about how we can create an AI character in the year 2025. Often there is a situation when we need to create a consistent character for a brand or business whose image will be repeated, for example, on social networks, and we need a consistent character, meaning each generation should be more or less the same. As we can see on the cover of this presentation, I and all these images were made by neural networks. We will start with a concept called the diffusion model. In short, it is when we generate an image using text, and usually within 50 steps,
starting from the grain and get the high quality image as a result, but we have one problem.
But there's one catch: such models do not recognize faces, and we need to further train it additionally, for example, using our selfies. This whole process is called fine-tuning. It applies not only to images, but can also relate to language models. It is a process when we further train an existing pre-trained model using our background datasets. It is called a dataset. This allows the model to adapt to the specific tasks of the project, improving accuracy for a particular direction. I'll try to explain this with a simpler example. Let's imagine we have a classic red mullet wine station which includes cloves, spices, and cinnamon, and we want to somehow improve it or make our own recipe. For this, we have a user dataset. This turns out to be black currant, and we have a method that helps us create a new recipe. This is called Laura. In our case, it's a pot, and we add all this together and mix in the pot and start cooking. As a result, we get a custom model blackcurrant mulled wine, which we can then use, drink, share with others. I think this example is clear. Why should you use fine-tuning at all? I think many of you have seen these mobile phone apps that allow you to create your AI avatar with the help of 10 to 15 photos, but they have certain drawbacks, and now I will talk about them. The advantages of fine-tuning. First, there is no fixed monthly fee, as is usually the case with other companies. It works in applications, that is, you only pay for one generation, and in general for training the model. I will talk more about the tariffs later. You have the opportunity to choose any model for training, and you do not limited by what the application provides you. Next are flexible settings, and you play only by your own rules. You do not have an application that is already set up for you, which has, for example, restrictions, censorship. Take, for example, Midjourney. It is a closed model, and we cannot, for instance, insert faces of politicians there. This is not a call to action. The limitations on generation are only your budget. You have $100, you can generate 6,000 images with $100. You have $10, you can generate 600 images with $10. The next point is integration with platforms for automation to do it in the future, for example, through Slack or through Make. On the downside, there are no ready-to-use presets, unlike mobile applications, but you can come up with them yourself, write out prompts. The images you saw on the cover of the presentation cost me that much. So in total, I paid $2.50 to create a network that generates, my face everywhere, and this generation will cost this many cents. I can't even pronounce it. That is 660 images can be created for $10. Show me a mobile app where you can generate that many images for such money. It also depends on the model. In this case, I used Flux 1. Perhaps Flux 1.1 Pro might end up costing you a bit more eventually. You need an account on Replicate. Ivo mi žiky koď. you need 20 to 25 photos of yourself or your character from different angles, in different settings, with different lighting. You need 25 minutes for the model to train, and $2 to $4. For me, it costs $2.25, and each generation, I remind you, costs that much. Also, this photo was generated using my prompt tag. So I suggest moving on to practice and getting cool images like these that you can publish on social networks or for developing your business. But again, we are now talking only about a character in the form of ourselves. It can actually be anything. Before you is replica.com. It is a cloud service for deploying machine learning models through an API. Here you can find models and experiment with them. For example, take the latest version of Flux 1.1. We put some text here, for example, and click run. It's a bit mainstream. What can I say? It's hard to impress us now. Yeah, I'll leave a link below the video. Yeah, with this we can train our model, but before that you need to enter your billing information so the money can be deducted later. For example, it only took $3 from me. I spent $1 on generation. There were about how much? $82.50 for training. It's just in this tab you can see the rates. So when you train the model for 25 minutes, you are not doing it locally. You are using the capacities, and you just go rent video cards. Here are the rates. They vary. Some are cheaper, some are more expensive. First we need to create a model. We scroll down, see the destination field. We enter the name of our model. We click new, click private so that no one else can see it and no one can use it. Next, we need to upload our images. I have prepared an archive of 36 photographs in advance. You can use 20 to 25. Just they have different lighting, different angles, and in different locations. We archive all of this and upload it. Next, we need to choose a trigger word. How does it work? We need to come up with some random combination of letters so that it doesn't match real words. And when we enter this trigger word, the system understands that it needs to use the dataset we uploaded, and it starts applying our faces. For example, all our faces will be called their eye. OLX. When I write OLX models, it immediately understands it should use all the files where my face is. That way we signal substitute me now. Otherwise it simply does not use the data set we uploaded. Here we check the auto caption box. We can also upload them together as text, but there is a suggestion that the neural network itself will name all our files in the archive. Regarding the steps, here it's recommended to specify them from 500 to 4000. I would suggest setting the average at 2000. Yes, it will be twice as expensive, for example $2 instead of $1, but then the system will definitely work. Each frame in your archive is twice as large. Next we can enter the Hugging Face repository. Hugging Face is a GitHub for neural networks. So here we can create a folder and upload the model that we created in Replicate. How to do it? We have a Replicate ID. That is, we go in, click new model. We write per aux. Set it to private so that no one except us can use it. Click create model. The model is ready. Next, we click copy, paste, rep ID. The next parameter is the token. How can we create a token? We go into settings. we go to the access tokens tab, create a new token. Well, we write any name there, check all the boxes. Press create stack. The main thing is to save this token somewhere in some file that no one will access because we won't see it again. Then we insert this token here. We scroll down and click on create training. It's also important to make sure that we have payment. Training has started. We find ourselves on the training page. Here we have the data we entered, and here it shows the console and statuses of what's happening at the moment. Usually this process takes 25 minutes. Right, by the way, now prompts are being created. Descriptions of those photos we uploaded. We could have done this with a text file, but now the LMA does it itself. After the generation, we can already use it. Now I will show you what it looks like. Here is the model that I created. Now I can enter a prompt here. Also, we don't forget to include the trigger word. It even suggests it at the top. The image is ready. Yes, it looks funny, of course, but we can regenerate it. Do you remember how much this costs? That is, each run click costs 15 thousandths of a dollar. We can find our models on the main page in the models tab. So yeah, here they are, and below on the dashboard we see all the generations. Here, that's exactly how many there were. They don't get lost anywhere. You can find them here. That's all. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to my social media. All the links will be below, and see you soon. I hope this information was helpful to you. Share your results. Boys.